Going somewhere tonight?
No, back to the Hunger Games.
Oh, you don't need curls for that.
No, exactly.
Welcome to the Incoherent Fangirl.
We're gonna call this a little bit of a spring break this episode,
Yeah, for sure.
kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I'm Karin from Moonies.
And I'm Mandy from Under the Sea.
I wanted to start singing and then I was like, we don't have rights.
I almost sang it. I did. I almost sang it, but
That's
nobody
fair.
wants to hear that.
I was like, I don't know if we get in trouble for that, so let's just not.
Fair.
In our timeline, it is April 10th, and in y'all's timeline, it is April 18th. I don't understand how time works.
I'm so excited for it to be in y'all's timeline because I've had more Aaron Warner.
This
By the
time,
time you're hearing this,
we have 30
there's more Aaron
Aaron
Warner. We have
Warner.
30-year-old Aaron Warner. Please, Jesus. I am not prepared. A DILF. We have DILF
Not ready.
Aaron
No,
Warner.
it's yeah, good
Ugh,
times.
I
Good
can't wait.
times. Okay, so we do want to mention that we did announce last week that we were going to have Sarah on the podcast this week.
Our bestie.
We love her. Something has come up, so she's unable to join us today. So hopefully we'll get to bring her on at a later date or do something else fun
Yeah,
with her to talk about her book because I'm so proud of her.
I know.
She
And this is why
championed
we're
this book.
calling it
Yeah.
this is why we're calling it a little bit of a spring break episode because it's going to be short. We're going to talk about what we did this week in our fictional boyfriends, and then I'm going to go downstairs and watch a movie.
I'm gonna go back to watching what I was watching before this, which I will talk about shortly. This week in fangirling, Mandy, what'd you do?
So I took off work Friday to watch my baby niece and nephew, and the only reason I bring that up is because I want to. You know how you're always so mean to me in the wibbly wobbly. Well, my baby nephew, my 1.5-year-old nephew, can like sings the Bluey theme song now,
No.
and he has the words to sing the Bluey theme song every time it comes on.
No, he's a newborn. What are you talking about?
I know, I know.
That's,
I'm like, you have teeth, you
I don't believe
walk.
you. This is fake news.
He'll say Mimi unless the camera comes out, and once he sees your phone, he's like, I ain't
Mm.
saying shit. But he'll sing Bluey
Oh my
before.
gosh.
I mean, I know it's just 4 words, but like he knows the timing, he knows the words.
Yeah.
Stop that.
Oh, that's mean. That is mean.
So Sunday we went to the Georgia Aquarium. So for Christmas, Josh got the twins an experience each. So one is obsessed with sharks and one is obsessed with penguins. So the one who is obsessed with sharks got to wade with sharks and rays. And the one who is obsessed with penguins got to meet and hang out with penguins. We walked around the aquarium, which is apparently one of the largest aquariums in the world and the only aquarium in North America that has manta rays and whale sharks. I've been to the aquarium before and I don't remember seeing a manta ray before. They're the size of a car.
Holy shit.
Yeah. We went like there's a tunnel where you walk under the giant like the
Right.
biggest aquarium they have there. That thing is wider, like has a wingspan. So they said they can get up to 15 feet wide.
That's
But it
wild.
was the ones that we saw, there were two, were wider than my car. Fun fact, one of them's named Tallulah. Actually, I think there were three. One of them's named Cholula. So yeah, that was a really cool experience. It was fun. We had to drive through a torrential downpour on the way home because Georgia is now apparently so severe weather. The East Coast is now apparently severe weather central.
There's a lot going
Yeah,
on.
it's too much. So I read Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins since I'm rereading The Hunger Games after devastating my soul through Sunrise on the Reaping. Yes, it is way worse with Hamish's backstory. It's way more painful. I just want to die.
Hmm.
Obviously, since it's book two, I can't really say anything, but Peeta is still the goat.
Yep.
Book three, I also read Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. Same thing. Can't tell you anything, but Peeta is forever the goat.
Peeta
Yeah,
Mellark. I love
the
that
man you
man.
are.
The Man
Um,
Jar.
I finished Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. We talked about it last week, so I'll give you like two sentences. Ophelia from Phantasma's sister Genevieve has found herself in another deadly game. This one's a dark and dangerous game of hide and seek. You've got a marriage of convenience, one bed, found family. Love, love, love it.
So
Love,
good.
love, love
So
it.
good.
So I am almost done reading Almost Infamous by Sarah Ainsley. So Emmy lives with her mom and her grandfather in Charleston. She goes to school, she loves photography, and she helps out at the inn that her family owns. She's super excited for her upcoming trip to New York City with her best friend Belle because it'll be like freedom and like getting out of Charleston, which is like a nice city. Like it's not like small,
Right.
but it's not New York City. And so she's excited for the adventure of it all. Then her mom drops a bomb on her that she's actually made plans for Emmy to go spend a few weeks with her estranged rock star dad, Nick. No New York City, no Belle, no fun. So begrudgingly, she goes, which is she's better than me because I would have been such a dick. I would have like refused. I would have laid in my bed and said, "You're gonna have to carry me through the airport. Good luck."
Hmm.
Um, so she goes, and her summer goes from the expectation of New York City apartments and roaming the city with her best friend and Broadway, to sleeping in a bunk on a tour bus full of sweaty old men and Sully, who's the cute and age appropriate merch guy. Oh, and no one knows that Nick is her dad, because of like safety concerns. They don't want like her to be like stalked,
Right.
because they're like a famous band. So she's there as an intern photographer. So she feels even more estranged because she feels like she's a secret.
Hmm.
But is that the only secret?
Who
Mm,
knows? It's a
ah.
mystery.
And then I've started reading The Never List by Jade Presley. So the kingdom of Lumithus is at risk of being invaded, and war is pretty much imminent. There are four princes, and they have to find their fated mate and like turn her immortal, which will save the country and keep their throne safe. So I guess every year they have this like ceremony ball thing where they have to choose their someone who they think could be a potential mate.
Okay.
Several women have tried and either died or backed out. I'm too early in to say for sure. None of them have succeeded, but some of them I know are still alive. Like they've been
Hmm.
allowed to like be rich, and be whatever. So our female main character Riley Gray comes along though after sneaking into the party. She's not even supposed to be there. While they're choosing their shared mate to look for her missing sister, and she actually gets selected.
Oops.
Um, so she has four princes trying to get her to fall in love with all of them because why choose?
Why choose? Why
Um,
choose?
I don't really think it's a spoiler because like she talks about it very early on, but she also has like secret magical powers that she's not supposed to have and nobody's supposed to know about. So how is she gonna have four mates who are supposed to turn her immortal if she's already got a little something something going on?
Ooh.
So she's got secrets. She thinks they've got secrets. It's the whole thing. It's been good so far. I'm maybe two-thirds in, maybe. I'm trying to get and I put this as a note. I'm trying to get through it before my life becomes consumed by Aaron Warner next week. As if my life's already not consumed
Right.
by Aaron Warner,
Right.
but uh, new Aaron Warner, I could just die.
Yeah.
And then I made Josh watch The Hunger Games with me last night since I finished all of the books. Because
Love,
I'm
love,
not
love.
going to read the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and Songbirds or whatever because I don't know, it's snow.
Yeah.
So yeah, we watched it. He hasn't watched it since they were in the theaters when we went and saw them. Like I guess when we were dating. So he's forgotten a lot of stuff. So
That's
I kept having to
so
pause
long
it
ago,
because I know I
which
kept
is
having to pause
insane.
because he's like, "Who's that again? Well, why are they doing this? Well, what? Wait."
Oh, Joshua.
I know. I love it though because at least he's watching them with me.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what I did this week. It wasn't a really wild week, but I haven't been having a lot of crazy wild weeks. So
It's okay. I make
I'll
up for
take
it.
it.
I'll make
Hit
up for
me.
it. Okay, so I love that you mentioned that you went to the aquarium because as we know, Susan Dennard used to like be not she was not a guide, but people thought she was a guide, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I read Sight Witch by Susan Dennard, which is book 2.5 of the Witch Hunt series. It's like an in-between book, so it's not really like part of the main plot. It kind of gives some background, some further background into some of the characters that we've already seen and introduces some characters that we maybe might see later. I don't
Yeah.
know. I have not continued the series quite yet, so we'll find out. But it's Susan Dennard. It was excellent.
It's gonna be good no matter what.
It was lovely. And it was like it was also kind of like confusing because I was like long books and now this teeny tiny one. And I was like, "Oh, right. This is not a full book."
Yes, this
Like
is
it
a
was so
little
quick.
bit. This is a
It was so
baby book.
quick. But I loved it, of course. I listened to Wherever Your Heart Is, or Wherever Is Your Heart. Sorry, I read that wrong. Wherever Is Your Heart by Anita Kelly, which is the third book in the Moonlighter series. So you have June, who is a long haul truck driver on the eve of 50, who is starting to think about what her life is going to be like after she stops truck driving. A life that she may or may not want to try to spend alongside the very grumpy bartender at Mooney's, Mal. The two of them she's been like a regular at Mooney's whenever she is in town, and the two of them have kind of struck up like a friendship of sorts. June has been pining after Mal for forever. Unbeknownst to her, Mal has also been pining after June. Pride is here, and June decides that she is going to try to express her feelings to Mal and see what comes next. Because after all, if you can't tell a butch that you love her during Pride, when can you?
Right, fair.
It's so cute. I loved it. It's Anita Kelly. It was adorable. Obsessed. Love, love, love. I read A Feather So Black by Lyra Celine. You have Fia, who is a changeling that was left behind in place of the High Queen's daughter Ayla many years ago. So the Fae like stole Ayla and they left Fia in her place. Ayla is now in the land of Tirnanog, where who knows what's going on with her because Fae realm and they're in the mortal realm. The High Queen, however, has raised Fia as her own daughter and has trained her to be a spy. Now, they found a hidden gate into the land of Tirnanog, where Ayla is being held, and Fia is sent on a mission to save her alongside Prince Rogan, who is one of Fia's dearest childhood friends and also Ayla's betrothed. The mission gets complicated by the feelings that are shared between Fia and Rogan, as well as Fia's unexpected attraction to the dark-hearted Fey Lord that holds Ayla captive.
Oh no.
Oh no, the horror. How
Not a
terrible.
dark-hearted Fey Lord.
With time running out, Fia's understanding of the truth is challenged, and secrets of the past might just destroy everything she
No.
loves.
No
Yes,
secrets.
no. It is.
Please, I hate
I
it.
think it's a book one, and I'm hoping it's a duology. I think it's a duology. I did not double check. I will check before I read the second book because we
Yeah.
know that I have not done that before, and it was traumatic. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I know we love like childhood best friend, but like dark-hearted Fey Lord. You know. Um, Next up, I read Bloodmarked and Oathbound by Tracy Deonn, books 2 and 3 of the Legendborn Cycle series. Obviously, I can say absolutely zero things, not a single word, but man, do I feel lucky to live at the same time as Tracy Deonn.
Yep.
My God, the way she writes. Tracy Deonn, the person you are. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's all I
Thanks
have
for
to say.
existing.
Thank you so much. I read Bend Toward the Sun by Jen Devon. You have Rowan McKinnon, who has a PhD in botany and accepts a job with the Brody family after they've purchased a vineyard that's in need of restoration. Do they know how to run a vineyard? No, they do not. But did they
Why
purchase
not?
the vineyard? Yes, they did. Harry Brody is one of the Brody children, obviously. He is a Los Angeles-based obstetrician who is struggling with the unexpected loss of a patient and takes a leave of absence from work in order to return home to Pennsylvania to help his family with their new vineyard venture. Harry
Say that
has
5 times fast.
Right. Harry has been struggling because this loss of his patient was came completely out of the blue. He was in like his first year of residency, so that's really he just was not prepared for it, especially as like an obstetrician. He was yeah, it's been a dark time for Harry. But the moment he meets Rowan, it's like sunlight breaking through the darkness. It's so clear that he's gone for her and she has no
Yeah.
idea. I love it. He wants nothing more than to explore the connection that is building between the two of them, a connection that he is sure is meant for great things. Rowan, however, just wants to keep things casual, which is a side effect of growing up with an emotionally negligent mother and an ex fiance who gaslit her so badly. Like, so badly. So she's like, love doesn't exist. And he's like,
Right.
no, it's real. It's
It
true
doesn't.
love.
I'm here. I'm
It's
right
true. I'm
here.
right here. It's so good. It's so sexy. And I love it. I loved it. I read this because Katie Naiman posted to her stories and she was like, ah. And then Estelle posted about it at the same time. And I was like, God damn it. If they both recommend it, I
Fine.
guess fine,
Just
I'll do
fine.
it. And it was like immediately available on Libby. I was like, God damn it, fine. So yeah, very glad I did. A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. You have Vivian Featherswallow, who all she wants is to get into this prestigious summer internship program to study dragon languages. But her world is turned completely upside down when her entire family, minus her 5-year-old sister, is arrested for treason, okay? In one act of rebellion, the one act of rebellion that she has ever permitted herself to have, she finds herself accidentally breaking a tenuous peace treaty between dragons and humans.
Oh shit.
Whoopsies.
That's a big accident.
Whoopsies. So yeah, this leads to her own arrest, obviously, because bad news. But she is so smart. She knows 9 different dragon languages. So she is tapped by the government to help them win the war against the dragons in order to get herself and her family pardoned and reunite with her younger sister, who has now been taken off to live elsewhere because her entire family is arrested for treason. So Viv is brought to Bletchley Park to work as a code breaker to crack the secret to a mysterious dragon language that nobody knows. But nothing is quite as it seems, and she soon realizes that the things she's been told as fact for her entire life might not be exactly that. This was so good. There
Ooh.
were some there was some like pacing stuff that was like maybe it was just because I was listening to it while doing work that I don't know, maybe it was just me, but overall I really enjoyed it. It's pitched as uh Fourth Wing and meets Babel for like teens,
Huh.
and is set in an alternate fantasy world London. It is like a
Ooh.
fantasy take on Bletchley Park, which was the location that the Allied codebreakers used during
Hmm.
World War II to, be the Germans. And it is steeped in the importance and power of language. It touches upon the disparities in class, and it's so like quietly romantic. I could
Yeah.
just die. And that ending had me in tears, and I'm very upset about it, and I need the next book immediately.
Yeah.
We have The Darkness Within Us by Trisha Levenseller. This is a companion novel to The Shadows Between Us, which
Hmm.
follows Alessandra's elder sister, Chrysantha. If we'll recall, Alessandra is badass, loved her so much, and Chrysantha in that book was kind of portrayed as like an airhead.
Yeah.
But so in this book, it turns out Chrysantha has spent the past 7 years acting like an airhead in order to get people to underestimate her.
Like Paris Hilton. Doesn't she say she does that?
I think so, yeah, right?
Yeah.
So she has quietly manipulated her father into allowing her to marry the man that she chose, who is an elderly duke with no heir, so that upon his death, she would inherit everything. And that way, she finally has her own power as a woman because women don't
Right.
have power in this society. So, upon his death, which she definitely did not in any way aid at
Yeah.
all, ever,
No. She's too dumb to
sh
do that.
exactly. She does, in fact, inherit everything, and she now has the money and the freedom that she's always wanted. And she's living up her life. She's loving it. She's making friends with all of her staff. She gave them all raises. She's redecorating the land, the property, and all of it. She's loving life. But then Eric's shows up, and Eric's is claiming to be the late Duke's grandson and threatens everything that she has worked so hard for. Not only that, but Alessandra is about to become queen and is rubbing it in her face, so she's feeling some kind of way.
Hmm.
So Chrysantha, of course, the only thing that she can do is now concoct a plan to upstage Alessandra at her own wedding by showing up on Eric's arm. She convinces him to allow her to train him in all things like proper society because he kind of grew up. He didn't grow up with the Duke, so he grew up kind of poor, and so he doesn't know all of like the rules of society. And
Right.
she's like, "Let me teach you all of this stuff, and I will request the king, who is about to be my brother-in-law, by the way, to formally recognize you as the next duke. And all you have to do is continue to give me money and let me stay here in my home because I've made this my home and I'm not leaving." And he agrees to it because, duh. But despite the fact that Eric's is extremely handsome with some secretive dark power, she definitely wants him dead. Definitely, for sure,
Definitely.
100%.
Yeah.
Definitely wants him dead.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Next up is Careless People by Sarah Wynne Williams. So this is the Facebook book that Facebook was trying to like suppress.
Uh-huh.
So Sarah is a former FBI. I abbreviated Facebook, so I was about to say FBI. Not true. Sarah is a former Facebook employee who basically when Facebook was first starting, she really saw that it could be like a force for good and would probably end up holding a lot of kind of political power in the future as it grew, and was very idealistic about it. She really wanted to kind of get in on the ground floor and shape that because she had worked in
Mhm.
kind of the political sphere for her whole life. And so she really wanted to like kind of be a part of that force of good that she thought it was going to be. So she details her experience of her 7 years at Facebook and how the management team there was really toxic. From her telling, and I'm going to continue, I'm going to say alleged. All of this is alleged because it's coming
Mhm.
from Sarah. And I don't want people taking my word as law. I don't know.
Right.
I wasn't there. But
Hmm.
based on Sarah's words, there were lots of instances of sexual harassment, disregard for human lives, and a focus on the business bottom line rather than all of the goodness that she thought it could be. She really detailed the change in Zuckerberg as like Facebook became more and more prominent. Um, yeah, and the whole thing is just, it's really just so awful. And the worst part of it all is like, it doesn't feel like it shines a new light on Facebook at all.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't feel
Like nothing
like,
you're saying surprises
yeah,
me.
it doesn't feel like any of this stuff is surprising. And that is really what like is
Hmm.
so bad about it, like you expect
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I would highly recommend it because of like the lawsuit or whatever. Sarah is not allowed to talk about the book. She's not allowed to promote it, market it, or anything. So we have to do it for her,
Yeah.
basically. And I'm here for it because I think everybody needs to read this book, especially with how prominent Facebook is, and how it is very much leaning into corruption.
Yeah.
So highly recommend. Natalie Tan's Book of Fortune and Luck by Roselle Lim. You have Natalie, who had a falling out with her mom, who was her only living relative, 7 years ago, and she left, and they haven't talked in that 7 years. When her mom passes away, Natalie returns home to settle her mother's affairs, and she is surprised to find that the vibrant San Francisco Chinatown neighborhood that she left behind is starting to fail, and families are moving out, businesses are closing, all of that. What's even more surprising is that she's actually inherited her grandmother's old restaurant. Now, Natalie has always wanted, she's had this dream of opening her own restaurant and running her own restaurant, and that was part of why her and her mother had a falling out and she left. So now she has the chance to fulfill that dream. The neighborhood seer predicts that Natalie will be successful, but only if she's able to cook 3 recipes from her grandmother's cookbook in order to help her struggling neighbors. The only problem is that Natalie doesn't really want to help them because she is of the opinion that they never helped her when she was the only one taking care of her agoraphobic mother's needs while she was alive. She felt very isolated from all the neighbors and all of that, so she doesn't really feel like they deserve her help. Uh,
Yeah.
but with the help of,
Fair.
yeah, for real. But with the help of a surprising new friend and a potential budding romance, Natalie
Hmm.
starts to realize that maybe she might not be looking at things with clear eyes. Maybe things aren't quite what she thinks they are, or what quite what she remembers them to be. It is chock full of food. So much food.
Yeah.
Um, I was literally sitting there eating my lunch as I was reading, and I'm like, thank God I have this because I would have been so hungry. Yeah, it was full of food. I listened to the audiobook, so I have no idea if like the physical book has recipes at the end, but I really, really hope they do because like, my God.
Please.
Um, so it's very like magical realism, like there are like elements of magic to it, but it's definitely not like a fantasy world. It's very much set in like San Francisco as we know
Yeah.
it, but there's like just bits of magic. And then the last thing I read was Vanessa Yu's Magical Paris Tea Shop, also by Roselle Lim. So you have Vanessa, who was born with the gift of prophecy, but she really wants nothing to do with it. She does not really want to see people's fortunes or misfortunes. And it's triggered by her like seeing tea leaves, and then she gets these visions. So she switches to coffee in order to avoid all of that. She's like, I don't want to see that. Nobody give me tea. I only drink coffee. So after she is set up by her very stereotypical Asian mother who wants her to
Oh
get
no.
married as soon as possible. She's like the last standing like single cousin in her family. So her mother is like, it's time. So her mother has set her up to visit a matchmaker. Unfortunately for her mother, the matchmaker tells Vanessa that she does not have a red string based on the red string of fate
Oh.
because she has this gift of prophecy. For some
Oh.
reason or another, people who have this gift just they don't have a red string. Love is not in the cards for them. All of that.
Is that part of the legend or just part of the story?
I think it's just part of this story.
Okay.
I've not
I
heard
was like,
that.
I've never heard that.
I've not heard that. I don't know. I didn't look into it. But in this specific story,
Okay,
that is what
gotcha.
they're saying. So after she has visited this matchmaker, the matchmaker has told her this. Vanessa's like, okay, you know what? Whatever. I wasn't really trying to get all up in that anyways. But then Vanessa sees her first death. She's of all the like prophecies and fortunes that she's never seen somebody's death before, and this is the first time, and it scares the shit out of her,
Yeah.
obviously. So now she's even more scared of her gift, and so her aunt Evelyn, who is the only other member of her family who is living, that has the same gift, whisks Vanessa away to Paris with her because Evelyn is opening up a tea shop in Paris. And she's like, you know what? You come with me, I'll train you, and we're gonna get through this together
Yeah.
because she doesn't have any control over it. And Evelyn kind of just is able to see it and everything's fine. Like she can see things on command essentially. Vanessa just
Oh,
kind of is bombarded with it. So she's like, I'll
okay.
train you. Okay. So as training progresses, Vanessa's starting to think like, hey, maybe I'm getting a handle on this. And at the same time, she may or may not be forming a romance with the cute Canadian boy who is also in Paris working. But an argument with her aunt leads to an accident that causes her to reconsider not just her own gift, but this budding romance.
Oh,
It again, lots of food, lots of Parisian food, and I'm just
give
like,
me that.
I am hungry just thinking about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're both very cute, really fun reads, real quick. I enjoyed them.
Very
And
nice.
the last thing is just that I started watching The Traitors because Mandy talked about it, and I was sitting here on my day off with my kid at school wondering what can I watch that would be okay to watch because she won't get mad that I watched without her, and let me start something with you new. So I
If
went with
you
The
let her
Traitors.
see it, she'll get addicted to it too. Because like the twins
I
didn't watch it with me, but they were like, I want that one to win.
I'm
Ooh, I want that one to go home.
yeah, listen, I've watched like 2 or 3 episodes maybe, and I just know that if I was on this show, I would be really, really bad at it because I would have
Yeah.
zero strategy. I would just want to send home whoever pissed me off the most.
Yep.
Because some of these people, my God, are they
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah.
I
Season
cannot.
3. I only watched season 3, but season 3 had that too.
Yeah, I
Oh, I can't wait for you to get further in.
not yeah, it's wild right now. Some fun notes just for funsies. There is one of the contestants is a white man named Kyle, and I immediately did not like him. I texted Mandy. I was like, there's a white boy named Kyle. I send him home. I don't want to see it.
Just get him away from me.
There was somebody who literally said Sherlock Holmes is my great great grandfather's cousin, and I'm like, baby, that's a fictional character. What is you talking about? And then what was the other thing? There was something else that I texted you, and I was like, what is happening? I don't even know. But
Oh, I
I
can't
was just,
remember.
hold on,
Let me
I've
look.
got it. I've got it. I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling.
The
One of
lamp.
the Big Brother contestants just said, I'm kind of an icon. And I'm like, are you allowed to call yourself an icon? Also, I have no idea who you are, so
Right.
yeah. But I am absolutely addicted. I need to see
Yeah.
what happens. Like
I'm telling you.
it's so dumb and
It's
yet
so dumb, but it's so
I
good.
can't
Have you
stop.
seen Lala yet?
I know.
Alan Cummings' dog?
No, he's the dog's not in this one.
She wasn't like a character, but she would just show up in a matching outfit with him.
No, she's not. She hasn't shown up here.
Oh, you'll love her when you see her. She's a little baby angel.
Oh, I'm sure. She'll probably be my favorite.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't. I'm gonna go back to that immediately after we log off.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like I'm addicted. I'm so addicted. It's so bad. But yeah, that was my week.
So, is your fictional boyfriend this week white boy Kyle from the Traders?
Absolutely the fuck not. He needs to go. I cannot. I cannot. Also, how dare you? I read Bloodmarked and Oathbound this
I
week.
know. If you didn't say
If it
Selwyn
was
Kane, I was gonna log off.
anybody but Selwyn fucking Kane, are you kidding me? My God. Selwyn Kane. Selwyn Kane. Selwyn Kane.
Always.
Always and forever. But also, William Jeffrey Sitterson needs more love. That man is the sweetest baby angel. I love him so much. I need him in more of the book. Like, I understand why he's not in more of the book, but
Yeah.
I need him in more of the book. Though we do get hit POV chapters from him in Oathbound, which I love. I love. I love. Okay, tell me yours because Watch Me isn't out yet, so it's got to be
Listen,
somebody else.
I just had a breakthrough though, because obviously, like, it does not matter what I read next week. If I read Watch Me or if I read 10,000 other books, it's going to be Aaron Warner next week.
Right.
But do you remember when we first started and I was like, over the break, I reread Shatter Me, so we already know who my fictional boyfriend of the year in the Candy Awards is going to be.
Right.
I didn't even need to do that
I know, but like
because Watch Me, like, it's gonna be Aaron regardless. Because I was sitting here thinking, what my fictional boyfriend this week is Peeta. Obviously, I'm
obviously.
still in the Hunger Games. Like it's Peeta,
Obviously.
and I was like, Peeta's the goat. And I was thinking like that's gonna be a tough one to beat in the candies. But then I was like, wait,
You're funny.
it's Aaron.
You're
Like
funny.
anybody else, if you put Peeta Mellark and Lorcan Salvatore, I would be like,
Yeah.
if you put Peeta Mellark and Hudson Vega, I'd be like, uh.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't
Yeah. Yeah.
I flip a coin. Aaron Warner beats Peter Millark. He's the only one. Um,
Oh, Peeta. Peeta's
my Peter baby angel. And
Peeta.
then I also put Finnick O'Dare.
Oh, Finnick.
My
Love Finnick.
sweetheart.
Love
Oh,
Finnick.
my sweet baby angel.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told this on the podcast, but one of the twins had been watching the movies with me. I think she's gotten bored. She says she wants to finish them, but then when it's like she's also watching things that she wants to watch, so she's
Right.
like not invested in going back yet, which is fine.
Right. Right.
But we were at dinner one day and I said something about somebody in the Hunger Games movie, and she was like, "Is it the fine one?" And I was like, Josh Hutcherson. And she was like, "No, I already think he's fine. I know who Josh Hutcherson is."
I
And she was
think,
like, "The one with the long blonde hair."
weren't you talking about, no, you were talking about Sunrise and saying that it was Haymitch's story.
That's it.
That's what it
That's it.
was. Yeah.
Yes. Did I
Yes.
talk about this on the podcast or did
No,
I just tell
you
you?
just texted me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was talking about Sunrise on the Reaping and how it was Hamish's story. And like, I was an emotional wreck the
Right.
whole few days that I was listening to it. It took a lot longer than it would have because I kept having to stop and take like emotional breaks. I had a freaking breakdown about cooking dinner one night because I was listening to this book and just sobbing. And so I said, "Yeah, I'm just reading Hamish's book." And she said, "Is that the fine one?" And I was like, "No, Peeta is in like the original, like you
Yeah.
know Peeta." And she was like, "No, that's Josh Hutcherson. I like Josh Hutcherson, like whatever." And she was like, "The one with the long blonde hair." And I was like, Finnick doesn't have long blonde. Finnick's hair is like short.
Right.
And so I'm like trying to picture it. And she was like, and he's like the men, like he helps them. And I was like, Woody Harrelson? Talking about Woody Harrelson? And I Googled it and I showed her a picture and she was like, "Yeah, I think he's fine." And I was like, "Okay, girl. All right. Okay."
Oh man. Oh man.
Um, I know you still have to read it, but someone, I think it was someone on Instagram said that when we get the movie next year, we just need a title card that plays beforehand that says pretend he's 16. And it's Woody Harrelson playing 16-year-old Haymitch, which is perfect. Agreed. No notes. Who else is gonna play him? Like when I'm reading the book, I'm picturing like Woody Harrelson, but a little shorter.
I
Like,
love it. I'm obsessed. Oh man.
when you read it, you'll be like, "Yeah, this really tracks.
That
This
yeah,
tracks
that's fair.
100%."
That's fair. You know, it's funny. People keep are like advocating for Kiefer Sutherland to play a younger middle-aged Snow because of his who his dad was. And I'm like, I mean, I don't know if I can see it.
You know what? We
I,
were watching the first movie last night,
hmm.
and his side profile, I was like, "Wow, they really cast the young guy who played him in the first, like in the
Yeah.
Songbirds and Snakes, whatever."
Yeah.
They really cast him well because they have like a very similar like
Hmm.
face structure. Even though it's his dad, I don't think
I
so with Kiefer. I
you know,
don't
people keep
see it.
saying like he's a carbon copy of his dad, and I'm like, I don't see it.
I don't see that at all. And you
I
know
don't
what
see
is
that
so
first of
dumb?
all. Yeah.
You said that, and it didn't even dawn on me that that was his dad
Exactly.
until you said that's his
I
dad.
I didn't realize it either until people kept saying it. I'm like, what do you mean? They're not related. They just have the same last name. But apparently
Yeah.
that's his son. I don't see it. People keep saying like he's a carbon copy of his dad, and like I don't see it. First of all, I don't see
No.
it. I just don't see it. And second of
No.
all, guys, that's Jack Bauer. Like he's not Coriolanus Snow. I don't care what age. I don't see it. I don't feel like he can play Snow. I just don't.
No.
I don't see it. I don't think that's a
And
role
another
that's
thing,
made for.
the reason that Donald can play him so well, I've always heard he's a gem of a human being, like
He
in
has the
real or
most punchable
was.
face. I'm
Well,
sorry.
not even that, Donald. Not
Yeah.
even that. It's that I can never unsee him in An American Haunting raping his daughter.
Oh,
It's
what?
horrible. Yeah, it's a movie about the Bell Witch. I didn't know at the time, like trigger warnings weren't a thing at the time.
Yeah.
So I watched it and yeah, like The Haunting is her dad. Spoiler alert for a movie that's 30 years old. But
Yikes.
like I know that people say, "Oh my gosh, he was a wonderful human being. He was an angel. He was so kind." I can only look at him and think, "Ugh."
You
So
know,
like him being Snow is perfect for me.
You know what's crazy? It's crazy that you say that, and I've seen like after his passing, I've seen people say come out and say like, "Oh, he's a gem of a human" and all of that. I know him from the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie, and I from that time period, I remember I was like really into like following celebrity gossip and shit like that back in my teenage years. And I always heard that he was like terrible to work with, like
Really?
not a good like not people were not
Oh,
a fan.
interesting.
Yeah. And so like when he was cast as Snow and seeing him as Snow, I was like, I believe it. Like
Yeah.
he just and again, like no shade, but he just has a really punchable
Well, I mean,
face.
people come out when someone dies
Right.
and
And
everything is sunshine and
well, and I'm
daisies.
sure there people have different experiences, right? Especially
Right.
like in different parts of his life. Maybe he got better later in
Yeah.
life or whatever. I don't just but like my first experience with him was that movie and that's how I was exposed to
See,
him.
that's how I
And
was with
like
American Haunting. And it's
and
like,
so yeah.
ugh, I
Yeah.
can't see him and
I
think. Like
I
there's role
can't
I don't
see
remember what he was in. He was in something where he's like, oh, he's in Pride and Prejudice, where he's the sweet,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and
And
it's like,
I don't
get
I
stay away from Lizzie.
yeah. Yeah,
Darcy,
yeah.
punch him in the face. Ugh.
He just, yeah, I've just always, like, even before he was Snow, I've just always kind of associated him with villainy.
Yeah, he plays a
Um,
villain really well. It's like the
yeah,
dude from The Young and the Restless who plays Victor. Like he may have been, I think he's still alive. He may be great,
yeah,
but
yeah.
Victor, Victor.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you posted this on, I think, Facebook and Threads about how you needed Peeta's POV of the original trilogy, and I was like,
I'm reading it soon.
I'm like I love that, but also I'm literally Jennifer Lawrence from that one interview where she's like, "Stop hurting my baby." Like I don't
No,
know that I could physically stand it.
I can because of the pining and the yearning.
I
I
really don't think I
skimmed through it, like the part where he's like, "Is that really the only time you kissed Gail?"
could.
Give me it. That's all I want. That is
I
everything.
I love
Everything I want.
I really do believe I would be Jennifer Lawrence, just be like, "Stop hurting my baby."
I feel like you need to be that way about Sunrise on the Reaping. Don't worry about Peeta. We know Peeta's fine.
I will
Okay.
always worry about Peeta, my sweet baby angel.
Hamish, though. Hamish is
Um,
not fine.
no,
Hamish
no.
is not fine. Hamish is never going to be fine. And there are like little, this isn't a spoiler, but this is just something to think about. Okay.
Hmm.
You read Sunrise on the Reaping, and then when you watch, it's almost like they knew when they made the first movie even. There's like a scene where there's two little kids playing and like Woody Harrelson just kind of looks over at them and then like has to look away. And when all the tributes come out like in their chariot, he won't look.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's like one, he's traumatized because of Redacted, but two, he has sent 20 years of tributes to die.
Yeah,
And because he's been their only mentor.
yeah,
And so every set of kids that he's had to mentor has died. No freaking wonder he's an alcoholic. No freaking wonder. Leave that man alone.
yeah. even reading like the original trilogy, I always had a soft spot for Haymitch.
Oh
Like
yeah.
even when Katniss is frustrated as fuck with him,
It's because
even
they're so alike.
yeah, I'm just
They're the
I
same
it's
person.
I just like yeah, he's a raging alcoholic and he's frustrating as hell and he's like pisses you off, but at the same time it's also like that poor man has been through hell. Like
But then when you find out what that hell is,
and he has and you like you
oh,
just know like not only has that man been through hell and back, but like you also just know like I don't know how to explain it, but it's like it's just you know he
yeah,
has like you know like
he's good.
he was made that way. He was made to be who he is in the
Hmm.
original
He's a
trilogy
victim of
because
circumstance.
and you know like even deep it might be real deep down but you know he's got a heart of gold in there like you know like he's got all of it and so I always was
I'm
like
not saying a thing.
from the get-go I was like oh
Yeah,
Haymitch I had like low key had like a crush on Haymitch while reading the original
yeah.
Hunger Games like well before watching
So
the movies and all of that
I
and
was gonna
yeah
say, did you never? Because you just recently read them for the first time, right?
I read them recently yeah
So
like
did you
last
never
year
watch? Did you watch the movies before
mm-mm
that or no? Oh
mm-mm
my God.
mm-mm I
How did
never
you miss this whole phenomena in the
It was so Hunger Games came out while I was still working at Target, and I had a coworker who was so vehemently vocal about reading the Hunger Games, and it pissed me off because he was so annoying about it that I refused to
you need
do
to
it
find
on
him and
trans.
apologize now.
No, but like it wasn't like we are like feral about books. Like it was legitimately like annoying.
Yeah,
Like, and I'm like, I was just, yeah. And I
yeah,
was like a teenager at the time. So it was like,
yeah,
when you have somebody that you're like really annoyed with, you're just doing everything out of principle, like
yeah,
spite out of principle, And
yeah,
so, and then it just, there was just, and then there was like a decade long period where I wasn't reading at all. So
yeah, true.
things just escalated.
Gosh.
But
I was thinking about it as I was like finishing Mockingjay last night. I was like, this should be because like Raging Republican Suzanne Collins wrote this series. But I was thinking like this should be required reading before you are allowed to vote. This Fahrenheit 451, 1984, you should be required to like read them before you cast your vote
I
every
just,
time.
I just, the fact that somebody really said with their whole chest that they thought
That they were
Suzanne
so
Collins,
confident that
they were
she's
so,
conservative.
like, baby, did you read the books?
Honey,
Sweetheart,
honey,
let me hold your hand
baby
when I say
angel,
this.
with some
Um,
tongs, because I don't want to touch you.
yeah, no, don't give me any of that stupidity because that was, I,
Wild take.
I,
That was a wild,
Reaping Day
wild take. July
is
4th.
July 4th.
There were 1,776 tributes before Katniss, 1776, July 4th, 1776.
Could, I mean, I'm not going to start singing because
Literally,
we don't have the budget for us to get the rights to any music. But could she make it any more obvious?
I mean, literally, Sunrise on the Reaping is about American fascism and the rise of American fascism.
People
So,
keep comments. People I keep seeing people say like I want so and so to be the next book, blah blah. And I'm like, I don't want Suzanne. Respectfully, I don't want
I
Suzanne
don't want her
Collins
to
to
need
write.
it because she only writes when she has something to say.
Respectfully, I do not want another
We're
Suzanne.
getting another book.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
president, and he's going
yeah.
to be president for 3 and 3/4 more years.
Respectfully, I do not want another Hunger Games book because that means Suzanne Collins has something to say, and I don't want her to have anything to say because
No,
my God, it hurts. It
yeah.
hurts. It
Oh,
hurts so
I
bad.
I fear for you that you're going to start seeing spoilers
You know,
for Sunrise.
anytime I see the word sunrise on the reaping, I just
Yeah,
scroll really fast. Because I don't really do videos, like, because I'm not on TikTok
yeah,
as often. So, like, as
yeah,
soon as I see, because I'm on threads a lot. I'm on threads a
yeah,
lot. So as soon as I see sunrise on the reaping, I'm like, no, bye.
yeah.
No, thank you. Don't want any of that. I have all 5 books now on Libby, so expect that to be a thing that's happening soon.
Okay, good.
Soon. Let
I
me.
can't wait for you. They
I'm
they've said that the appropriate reading order is The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Mockingjay, Ballad, Sunrise, The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Mockingjay.
right,
Because you have to read the first three after you read Sunrise.
right,
You could get away with not rereading the first three since you read them so recently.
but I want to.
You're gonna want to read them after though. Somebody messaged me and was like, "Do I need to reread the original trilogy?" And I was like, "No, not before you read it, but after."
Yeah.
And they were like,
Okay,
"Okay."
so my loan for the Hunger Games expires on the 21st, so sometime about like 3 or 4 days before that, I will be reading all 5 books. And then maybe the first three again.
Yeah, sweet.
So,
Anyways,
yeah.
this was our long-winded way of saying that my fictional boyfriends this week are
Peeta
Peter
Mellark.
Mellark and Vinegar
Oh,
Dare, my
there.
baby.
Oh,
My
I love
sweet baby
them.
angel with his
I
sugar
love
and his
them.
secrets.
I love them so much.
All right, you want to announce?
Yes, I
I'm ready to
do.
go watch another Hunger Games movie now. I know we
I'm
talked
still
about
really
this.
upset that I can't fucking find them to purchase the physical media anywhere that
Yeah,
I want to shop.
yeah.
Anyways, announcements. Next week we will be talking to Jade Presley about the Never List. Yay! I'm so excited. This book is out now. It came out on Tuesday, so go pick it up, read it, and then you can be a part of the conversation when we talk to Jade next week. I'm so excited.
I know this is so exciting.
Yay! And I don't think we have anything else, right? No
Next
other.
week is Aaron Warner week. By the time you hear it, it's done, so it's not really an announcement, but I'm just really happy. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I've already have it on hold for Libby, so hopefully it comes through on
I
Pub
don't
Day.
care how I get it. If it doesn't come through on Libby, then it's coming through
I'm
Libro or Everand or
I'm
whatever. I don't care.
I'm fifth in line, and there are 8 copies ordered, so I will get it on Pub Day.
Would you like to do a spiel?
I guess I will. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, follow, and subscribe wherever you are listening. Follow us on social media. We are at The Incoherent Fangirl on all the things. Visit our website, theincoherentfangirl.com, where you can also stream all of our episodes as well as read our blog. Subscribe to our Patreon for early access to podcast episodes, full video episodes, and bonus content, as well as some early teasers for stuff and things that are happening.
You get the secrets.
It's
You
a
get
good
the
time.
Finico Dare currency. The
If
secrets.
we love secrets, and you can have
Mhm.
them. You can have them if you just join us on Patreon. You can also have some Incoherent Fangirl merch if you go to the incoherentfangirl.com/shop and do some shopping, because that one over there gets bored with an iPad and we all benefit from it.
Cute stuff comes
Yay!
out.
If you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, design ideas you want to tell us that were pretty, we will accept all of that
We'll take it.
in our inbox, theincoherentfangirl@gmail.com. We love hearing from y'all. And one last way to support the podcast is to rate and review on whatever platform you are listening to us on. You know we love words, so give us all of them. Every single word, ever.
Hmm.
Okay, thanks.
Every single one.
She is at Mandy Perv on all the things.
She's at Miss Made in China on all the things.
And once you followed us on social media and you followed the podcast on social media, you are going to head over and do some self care, because I don't know how many times I have to repeat it, but the world is still on fire. And
Everything sucks, and if you want to buy something for yourself,
I'm
you probably
very
should.
supportive of that. We
Yeah,
all need
100%.
little joys. Plus,
Yeah.
especially right now with all the
Serotonin.
nonsense going on, we need to support our small businesses more than ever.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
So your first stop is going to be herecomestenerd.com, where you're going to get some cute artsy goodies. Use code fangirl and you'll get 20% off your first order.
Then you're going to head over to onceuponabookclub.com. You can subscribe, you can get some remaining boxes or some standalone goodies. We have two codes you can use. They don't stack, so you'll have to pick one, but we love you no matter which one you choose. We don't really care. You can use either code Mandy10 or Karin10 for 10% off, but you have to make sure you spell Karin right, or we're gonna just sell you to President Snow.
Ooh.
Mm, mm.
Ooh. Okay.
Ew. Blood and roses.
No, thank you.
Ugh.
And next up, you're going to head over and visit our dear friend Amber D. Lewis at amberdlewis.com because she writes excellent fantasy novels and
Yes,
you
she
should
does.
read them. Use code. Well, first of all, you're going to add like 10 of everything to your cart, and then you're going to use code Fangirl10 because then you'll get 10% off of your 10 of everything, which means mathematically you've received one of everything for free. That's just facts.
Don't argue with us.
Mm-hmm. That's
We're
exactly.
mathematicians now.
Yep, that's exactly how it works.
And last but certainly not least, you're going to go support the show husband. You guys, I figured out their social media last night. I did
Woohoo!
it.
We're
The
so
problem
proud.
I created.
That's
Okay,
true.
so first, you're going to go follow at Searchers Believe on everything. That's the show husband's paranormal investigation duo. And you can go to searchersbelieve.com/shop and use code Fangirl10 for 10% off of merch designed by yours truly. That's me.
Mhm.
Then the podcast. So it used to be called the Paranormal Mind. Now it's called the Searchers Podcast. Originally, I had made a new account. I deleted that, got rid of it. And now it's at Searchers Pod. That's where you follow them. And that's where you find the Searchers Podcast and old episodes of the Paranormal Mind. Anything you want to see on Instagram related to them is at Searchers Pod. Definitively
Woohoo!
done. Did it.
We did it.
And last but certainly not least, you're going to go support Stream Beacon TV. It's our new streaming platform with paranormal, true crime, and horror content. We did not because it's not my company, but they signed a pretty big contract last week. They had
Mhm.
a really big phone call this week about it. I expect that announcements will come before too long, but filming something really incredible in July.
Wild. Absolutely wild.
Karin knows the secret. I can't tell you yet, but it's coming, I promise, and it's so cool.
It is
Um,
so cool. My God.
yeah.
My God. Woohoo!
So follow Stream Beacon TV on all the things, and if you want to subscribe at streambeacontv.com, you use code Fangirl10 there too, and you'll get 10% off of your subscription.
Yay. Oh, so
Yay
many
for the show
exciting
husband.
things. So many
I know.
exciting things.
I can't wait.
And that
I think
was
that
a
was the
kind of
incoherent.
rambly, incoherent
Yeah, we got a
fangirl.
little ranty, but that's
I
okay.
mean, Peeta Mellark and Finico Dare.
I could talk for days. Give me a
Forever.
TED talk.
Right? Right. Yeah. So,
I'm sorry in advance for how much I ramble next week about Watch
I'm not. I'm
Me.
not sorry. Not sorry one bit. That
Ugh,
that was it. That's
that's
the
the
episode.
incoherent fangirl. We
Thanks for
love
listening. We love
you. Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Bye. We are sponsored by our friends at Here Comes the Nerd. Pins, stickers, magnets, and more. Here Comes the Nerd has happy art for all fandom-loving hearts. New customers can use coupon code FANGIRL during checkout for 20% off their first order at herecomesthenerd.com. Coupon applies to ready-to-ship items only.